Hello and welcome to Fincham Travels. Today I'm in Helsinki in Finland. Join me for my travels around Helsinki. So this is probably one of the most famous landmarks in Helsinki. This is Helsinki Cathedral. It was having a bit of a makeover when I was there. You can still go inside, and as it was hammering of rain, that's exactly what I did and had a look around the cathedral, which was actually not a bad thing to do. The cathedral's based in Senate Square, that's Senate, and its surrounding areas of Senate Square make up the oldest part of central Helsinki. Landmarks and famous buildings surrounding this square are the cathedral, the government palace, which you'll see in a minute, a big yellow building, and the main building of the University of Helsinki and the Söderholm House, which is the oldest building in central Helsinki, dating back to 1757. And there's a government building there, the yellow building with the Finnish flag on top. So this is Senate Square, as you can see. Plenty going on around there. On a sunny day, I'm sure that'll be a lovely place to be. So when you're in Helsinki, make sure you go to Senate Square. There's plenty to do around there. A few bars, restaurants and shops too if you want to. But I'd probably start your visit around Senate Square and then make your way around Helsinki. You can use the trams. They've got a very good tram network, and you can buy your tickets online as well. That tram basically takes you all around Helsinki, and on a day like today when it's hammering down of rain, that or an Uber or a Bolt is the best way of getting around Helsinki. This is a memorial in the centre of town to Alexis Kivi, who was a Finnish writer. This is the Finnish National Theatre in the centre of town. If you're travelling from the airport to the city centre, this is where you'll end up, the train station, and vice versa, you'll leave from this train station to the airport. So I then ventured out of town, not on a bike, you'll be pleased to hear. I would be dangerous on that. Went in an Uber down to the water's edge, and I saw this little hut called the Regatta, and I had something to eat and drink there outside, which was great. Rain had stopped, really tranquil down there, peace and quiet, totally different to the city. So I suggest you come down here as well if you're in Helsinki. Nice little part of the world. Okay, so just come from the city centre down to the water's edge. I used Uber or Bolt, either of them. Around €6.50, €7 to get down here. Just want to warn you, if you use a Helsinki registered taxi, there's going to be an awful lot more than that. So when you're in the city of Helsinki, try and use Uber or Bolt. So this is what I expected of Helsinki and Finland. Peace, quiet, fresh air and decent hot chocolate. These were some nice apartments overlooking the river and lake. Very smart part of town. Some boats down there as well. I think they did canoeing and yachting down there too. Now in Helsinki they call this the Esplanade. Well, it's an esplanade. This is probably a good place to be in the summer. People wander through the town centre. Very centrally located here, and you've got great shops either side of it as well as picturesque monuments and gardens. Now this impressive building is the Helsinki Town Hall, and this is down by the harbour, and the harbour is a bustling area of Helsinki, and you should go down there as well and experience the harbour. There's plenty of ferries there as well, taking you to other parts of the Nordics and Europe. So if you're wanting to go on a two-centre holiday, have a look and you may be able to incorporate that in your trip. So I was down in the harbour and I saw a boat tour going to a sea fortress, and I thought, well, why not? never been to a sea fortress, let's go over there and see what it's all about. And that was a relatively good trip because it included the ferry as well, and it cost €3, £2.60, or around $3.40. You got a trip out to the sea fortress, and then you had to pay the same to come back, so double what I've just given you as a return trip. But it was well worth the money. Not only did you get a boat trip to and from the sea fortress, you also get to look around the sea fortress as well, which was extremely interesting. So I've never been on one before, and it was good to go. So I would definitely recommend getting a boat from Helsinki Harbour over to the sea fortress. I'm not going to pronounce it, but you will see it in a minute, and jot down the name, and that's where you should go for an afternoon trip. And this was a journey past some of these little islands with little huts on there. I don't know whether people live there, but very quaint little places in Helsinki. And like I say, this journey is about 15 minutes from Helsinki Harbour. Quite a large ferry, plenty of seats on there, and they're pretty frequent to and from the sea fortress to the harbour. And to the left there, you can see the sea fortress, the yellow buildings, and we'll be docking there shortly. And there's a bridge there from one side of the sea fortress to the other. And you're welcome to look around the fortress. Nothing's off bounds, just have a look around. It's there for you to enjoy. Just make sure you're there at the ferry terminal to get the ferry back, because they are quite busy. And there's the name of the sea fortress.
And there goes the ferry back to the mainland, and we're going to pick that up in about half an hour when we've had a quick look round the sea fortress. Okay, so this is a bridge over to the part of the sea fortress. Just going to go over the bridge now, see what's over here. Looks like there's a few buildings, not quite sure what's there, but let's go and have a look, see what we can find.
Now, if you want peace and quiet, this place will give it to you in abundance. I've never been anywhere which has been so peaceful. You could hear a pin drop. If you want peace and quiet, get yourself over to the sea fortress, away from the city.
Now, I know this isn't a prison, but for those of you who've been to Alcatraz, this is eerily like it. Very quiet. And you can imagine this being a prison, just like Alcatraz on an island.
Now, there seems to be a community living on the Sea Fortress. I don't know whether that's just the staff or whether this is an exclusive part of town for people who want to get away from the hustle and bustle of Helsinki. But it certainly is a nice part of town to live in if you can, because it's so peaceful if that's what you want. Get away from the hustle and the bustle. Plenty of old buildings on the Sea Fortress, and people were living in them because you could see through the windows that there were people in the houses, so they're not just there for effect. People are actually living on the Sea Fortress. There's also a small church on the fortress as well, Sea Fortress. And it is a really vast place. So when you're there, you can have a good look round. There's so much to see. Have a wander around. Take in the peace and quiet, because you'll soon be back in Helsinki, where it's busy and noisy. So just enjoy your time on the Sea Fortress. And this gives you some details on the Sea Fortress. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. So thoroughly recommend a visit over here for the money you pay to get over here and the things you see, and just to get away from the city for an hour or two. It's well worth it. There's some kids' bikes there, so there must be families on the island. Certain parts of it are a bit dilapidated, but then it is old, centuries old, so of course it will. And this is the church. If you're wanting to go in and have a look around, you're welcome to do so. This is a little cafe if you're wanting something to eat or drink. Now there is a tourist information area as you arrive on the ferry. That has the toilets in there as well. So if you're looking for toilets, that's where you will find them. I don't know if there's any more on the island. I think they're the only ones in the tourist information, which is in this pink building.
And you can see in the background, we've got Helsinki. Enjoy your visit to Helsinki. It really is a lovely place. Bit cold, after about 4 o'clock it gets a bit cold, so bring enough clothes to wrap up warm in the evenings, but you'll enjoy it.
So boarded the ferry and on our way back to Helsinki. Great trip over there. Very smooth journey. And before you know it, you'll be back in the harbour of Helsinki. Here we are back in Helsinki Harbour, and there is the Sky Wheel Helsinki, which is the Ferris wheel there if you want to have a go on that. This harbour is in the centre of town. You can walk everywhere from here. Up on the hill there, this is a fantastic looking cathedral, and this is the Uspensky Cathedral, and you're welcome to visit there as well. This is a bridge nearby the harbour with all the locks on. This is a boat moored in the harbour, If you want to have drinks on there, you can. And this is another shot of the amazing looking cathedral down by the harbour. Get back into the town centre, you're going to walk past the town hall, which is this blue building in front of us, with the tram passing it now. Again, feel free to jump on a tram. They get you all around the city and they're relatively cheap. So would I recommend Helsinki? Absolutely yes. 2 or 3 days you'll be able to get around most of the city and you'll have a wonderful time. Plenty in Helsinki to see and do. If you're getting from the airport to the city centre, you might want to use the public transport, the trains. Very reliable, very cheap. It brings you here into the train station. Thanks for watching. I do hope this video has been helpful. And until next time on Fincham Travels, you stay safe, you stay well. Do subscribe, plenty more videos on the way. Until then, bye-bye.